Ito ang Broad Stream Cast Communicators, ang naiba at kakaibang plataforma sa digital broadcast. Mula Luzon, Visayas, Mindanao hanggang sa iba't ibang dako ng mundo. Broad Stream Cast Communicators, ang sandigan ng sambayanan mula sa walang labis at walang kulang na pagbabalita, paglilingkod, maglalahad ng mga mapagbuong komentaryo at usaping pambayan para sa kapakanan ng karamihan. Broad Stream Cast Communicators, tuwirang maglilingkod ngayon hanggang sa susunod na henerasyon. Buhay Online, Chikahan at kaalamang pangkabuhayan. Ating tunghayan, pakinggan at tuklasin ang mga pangyayari at kaganapan sa mundo ng online. Buhay Online, Chikahan at kaalamang pangkabuhayan. Alamin ang pinaka-latest trends mula sa trabaho at kung hanggang saan na ang narating ng teknolohiyang ito. At ngayon, narito na ang ating host, ang ating Techiemommy, si Jaye C. Bautista.
Oh, sorry. 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 Good morning, good morning. Happy Tuesday po. Pasensya na po. Yesterday, I was here. I had to take care of some things po. Yung computer ko po kasi was acting up. At ito po, ayan, nagagamit ko na po ngayon. I had to take care of some technical problems of my computer at hindi ako nakapag-broadcast kahapon. But thank you very much po for those who are here today. At of course, happy Tuesday to everyone. Medyo cloudy dito sa amin sa Pampanga. It's a little bit parang gloomy feeling. Pero we're still enjoying the cool breeze na nararamdaman natin pag umaga, no? Malamig po pa rin pag umaga. But anyway, welcome to Buhay Online. I don't see the names of the people watching, pero welcome po. At si Angelica Pasa, every morning nag-greet po sa atin. At hapon sinabi ko sa kanya na hindi ako makapag-broadcast at na-miss ko rin po kayong lahat. But anyway, thank you for those sending hearts. I can't see the name. It doesn't show on my computer and it doesn't show on my cell phone either. But welcome to the show. I'm sure nandyan si Angelica, right? And si Jake, but mamaya akyat din yung mga names na yan. But of course, what do we have in store for us today? A lot of things. Let's start off. Of course, we always have to know what's going on with regards to the pandemic situation and how technology is helping us cope with it. There you go. See, good morning, Angelica. Yes, I'm glad to be back too. Thank you. Sabi ko na andyan ka eh. Of course, welcome to the show, Angelica. Okay? One of these days, I want to have a chit-chat with you and Jake and Cynthia, no? Mag-group chat tayo dito at to talk about issues, no? Because I want to feature people from different walks of life and to talk about how this pandemic situation has affected your lives. I want to devote a day for that, no? Hello there, Jerome Pajardo. Good morning. Thank you and nice to see you here sa ating programa. Ano yung PO? Jerome, ano yung PO? Sorry ha, hindi ko medyo what is... good morning po. Oh my God. I thought it was an abbreviation or an acronym. Alam mo naman ako talking about technical things. I thought PO was something technical or an acronym for something. Yun pala, yung greeting niya kasi good morning po. I said, what is po? Oh my gosh. Anyway, Jerome, hello. Good morning din sa'yo. Okay? So like I said, let's talk about updates regarding the pandemic situation. Okay? Let's talk about anong latest sa DOH. Diba? Inaantay natin kasing sabihin na ang restrictions malif na para wag na rin magmaskara. But, okay, first and foremost po, no, binabakunahan na ngayon yung mga bata, right? The country may soon be easing, okay? Ito yung dyan, latest news, no, as of today, February 8, okay? Sabi sa Inquirer, okay, the country may soon be easing restrictions, moving to the lowest alert level. Wow, yay! If COVID-19 cases continue to decline, Health Secretary Francisco Duque III and officials of the National Pandemic Task Force raised the possibility on Monday, okay? On Monday, the Department of Health, or DOH, reported 6,835 new infections. The seventh straight day, the tally remained below 10,000, okay? According to Duque, the country now has a low-risk, 2-week negative growth rate of 40% and a moderate risk average daily attack rate, or the number of individuals infected per 100,000 population. Di ba? Kasi every 2 weeks, iniiba nila yung alert level. Di ba? Nilalagay tayo sa ganyang alert level on a 2-week frame, no? So, bumaba pa ulit, lalo-lalo na sa NCR. The country's health system capacity based on 2 submetrics, total bed utilization, nga yung mga na-hospital, and intensive care unit ICU bed usage. It was also at low risk. Diba sinabi nga natin a few days ago na yung mga nasa hospital ngayon at ICU, hindi na lang COVID-19 patients. Yun na yung mga merong surgeries, mga tungkol sa iba-ibang health concerns, hindi na lang COVID patients ang nasa mga hospital kagaya ng for the past year or so na nangyari, right? Okay. Will this reach the threshold for alert level 1? Let's wait a little longer, he said. If COVID-19 cases continue to decline and reach the threshold appropriate for alert level 1, then we will do that. Nothing will prevent us from de-escalating to alert level 1, but the sooner the better. Itong sinabi ni Mr. Duque, right? Okay. Will this, if COVID-19 cases continue to decline and reach the threshold appropriate for level 1, sabi nga niya, the sooner the better, agad ilalagay sa normal. At mag-open na sigurado ang face-to-face classes. Hello there, Shrey. Are you there? I don't see your name, but I'm sure. Hello there, Shrey. My dear Shrey. My colleague, pag Wednesday po, ang aking co-host dito, yan si Shrey Shawarma. Shawarma tuloy. Shrey Shawarma. Hindi ko man sinabi Shawarma. Shrey Sharma from India. Okay? My colleague in the ESL learning platform at the same time. Kasama ko siya pag Wednesday to help us talk about jobs online. Okay? Papatuloy po natin yan bukas. Okay, in Cebu City, Carlito Galvez Jr., the chief implementer of the National Task Force Against COVID, and Vince Dizon, presidential advisor on COVID-19 and testing czar, said they also believe the Philippines would soon ease restrictions and shift policy to living with the virus. Kasi diba, trending ito ngayon sa world eh. There were countries in Europe, they are not wearing masks anymore because they're almost 100% or more than 70% vaccinated with booster shots po yung mga ibang countries na yon. So they decided to not wear masks anymore. Siguro they wear masks to go to enclosed places. Sa Amerika rin po, nakakapag na sila na go places without masks. At yun na nga po, yung mga enclosed or closed circuited places, doon kayo dapat magmaskara para, di ba kasi nakakulong yung virus doon, right? So hopefully, ayan na ngayon ang operative word, living with the virus, right? Because at saka siguro kasi nakita nila na this last variant, the Omicron, is not as fatal as the previous ones. Although in Japan, I learned from my students that more than 100 people died yesterday in Japan. Sa kanila kasi mataas na yung number na yun. Eh. For a place that's been having very low morbidity, death rates, it was already high for them. That's why almost pwede sa state of emergency na in Japan. Although sa Japan, unlike the Philippines or other countries, their prime minister cannot mandate and will never mandate lockdown of the country kasi wala silang ganong capacity sa kanilang gobyerno. Yung walang right or walang capacity yung prime minister mag-declare ng lockdown ng country, much less close businesses. Kaya the people from Japan, I've had Japanese students for the past 4 years. Alam ko na tungkol sa country nila. The people from Japan have been living an almost normal life actually in this pandemic eh. Kasi tsaka sanay silang nakamaskara. Siguro they're one of the cleanest people in the world. They're used to washing their hands, not putting their slippers inside the house and disinfecting all the time. So mababa yung death rate nila. Although nag-spread yung virus na mabilis sa kanila. Pero kasi, yun na nga, they've been living with the virus. Kahit na in the worst time of the pandemic, bukas ang mga restaurant, bukas ang mga bars sa Japan, ginawa lang nila, they just made the hours of operation less. Mas maaga nagsasara, 8 o'clock sarado na. Pero still, yun na nga, yung pa, nagkaroon pa sila ng Go to Travel, Go to Eat campaign sa Japan sa kasagsagan ng pandemic. So, what I mean to say is that, they've been living almost a normal life in Japan. Dahil nga, sanay silang mag-mask and all that. Saka yun, hindi saradong mga negosyo. Right? So anyway, according to Galvez, the government was already making necessary preparations for a transition to the new normal. Diba? That's nice to hear. So again, sinabi ko, dun sa Cebu po, they're already easing down the restrictions. And they're preparing to the transition of the almost normal life, actually to the new normal. Experts told us that the country may ease restrictions by March this year. Wow, hopefully. Okay, but this will depend on the vaccination rate and the date of cases on the ground, he said in an interview. Galvez said the country's vaccine czar said the transition would eventually treat COVID-19 as an endemic virus, and people would have to live with it as long as the majority of the population had been vaccinated. Ayun na nga, di ba? Lalo nang naglulungtong, nagkakaroon ng linaw and parang hope, because nga yung Omicron virus, okay, I'm speaking from experience, was less potent or less dangerous because my own sister and her family had it a month ago. And they just also quarantined at home, didn't go to the hospital to be treated. And on the 10th day nga, nagpa-PCR, wala na yung virus, right? But it was, the symptoms were like a regular flu. Fever, slight fever, not naman high fever actually. Well, fever for 3 days or 4. On the 5th day nga, wala na yung fever. And they just had cough and cold. Yung ibang anak niya asymptomatic. Pero yun, cough and cold, sore throat. Ang iniiwasan naman talaga is if it goes to our lungs and then we have to be intubated. At saka yun lang ang tinatanggap sa hospitals, those people with serious cases. Hello there, Miss Cynthia Buste. Good morning. Thank you so much. Oh, you missed me also yesterday. I missed you guys too. Thank you very much. Ang sinasabi ko kanina, no, one of these days, I want to be able to put on cam, right? Angelica, Cynthia, okay, and si Jake, yung mga palagi nandito, or para to be part of a group discussion po, because I want to talk about the pandemic and living in this pandemic and discuss issues about that kung pwede lang sana. Well, let's schedule it now, right? So Angelica and Cynthia, if it's okay with you, we can have you on cam siguro sa Friday. Kung hindi kayo ready sa Friday, baka Monday, alright? Because I want to have a community discussion regarding the pandemic situation and how technology is helping us cope with it, and you personally, okay? So anyway, going back to what I was saying regarding the lowering of restrictions, okay? Sabi nila, many countries, including the United Kingdom, are now transitioning. Yeah, actually, di ba? Yun nga, nag-spread fast sa UK, halos mag-lockdown sila ulit. Pero kasi nga, because we're almost all vaccinated, really, it's less severe yung effect. Tsaka, parang we're treating it like, as long as hindi pa na-discover or nagagawa yung talagang gamot para mag-cure niyan, at the same time, we will just have to keep getting booster shots to protect us from the virus. And just keep wearing masks if we have to, but we can live normally like that, na makakalabas na tayo ng bahay. That's what I'm trying to say. The U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention defines endemic as the constant presence and or usual prevalence of a disease in a population within a geographic area. Experts, he said, have told them that the virus was evolving with lesser hospitalization and severe and critical cases. Yun na nga. That is why they want to loosen up some more, okay? So yun na nga, sa Europe po, nag-transition na sila. And you see that the quarantine facilities and isolation protocols in the country have been slowly being removed. So yung mga makeshift na quarantine, mga tent na nasa labas ng ospital, isa-isa na pong binabaklasyon because kumukonti na po yung mga kailangan ng emergency, right? In this Omicron surge, kasi yun na nga, most of them sa bahay na lang nagpapagaling. Kaya hindi na kailangan mo ospital, right? In this Omicron surge, we learned from experts all over the world that we can slowly relax our protocols. We rely on the experts because they know where the virus is going. The reopening to tourists, to foreign tourists, di ba? Sa February 10 po, bukas na po ang Pilipinas sa tourism, okay? And the removal of the facility-based quarantine for fully vaccinated international travelers was among the eased restrictions that form part of the steps to a permissive policy. So meaning to say po, travelers coming back to the Philippines, whether balikbayans or returning residents or international travelers, they are not going to be required to stay in the hotel for 2 weeks anymore, provided that they have vac certificates and PCR tests that are negative that were taken 48 hours before their arrival sa Pilipinas, okay? Of course, the virus is still here, right? Despite the country's low-risk status for COVID-19. However, infectious diseases expert Jean Solante on Monday, which was yesterday, warned against easing restrictions further in Metro Manila by placing it under the most relaxed alert level 1 this month, saying this would be too drastic a move. Solante, chief of the Adult Infectious Diseases and Tropical Medicine Unit at San Lazaro Hospital in Manila, said that even if COVID-19 infections have gone down in the metropolis, the number of cases was still high and transmission was still taking place. So, yun na nga, sinasabi nitong head ng infectious diseases sa tropical medicine, masyado pa raw maaga para mag-revert tayo sa alert level 1. Okay pa lang yung alert level 2 kasi nga, marami pa rin cases because nga, it is highly contagious. It keeps spreading. Sino may nagsabi, like, diba, a few months ago, they said na, yung pinedict nila na itong Omicron daw is the end of the viruses because pagka lahat na raw nahawa, lahat na nag-spread na ito, mamamatay na yung virus in us, wala nang pupuntahan, yun na raw ang end ng virus. Well, whatever. In my opinion, sabi ni Solante, we still need to stay in alert level 2. It's too early and I think too drastic to change to a lower alert level. And tama naman siya, unless bumabang baba na talaga. Okay? Huwag na munang ilagay sa alert level 1 kasi nga alam din natin, nasa disiplina natin eh. I mean, if I compare ourselves to Taiwan, si Taiwan, pag meron man lang kahit 50 or na infection sa kanila, agad lockdown yung country. Nobody in and out, nobody goes anywhere, streets are empty, masunurin po kasi sila. Sa atin pag naglo-lower yung restrictions, siging pasyal, sige kaagad hindi muna, di ba? Magkulong muna tayong lahat hanggang sa mawala na sila, right? Hindi, makata talaga. Itchy feet, everybody. As soon as the restrictions are eased, there we go. Pasyal, party, right? Diba? Gatherings right away nang walang social distancing. Let's not do that, okay? If we really want to quash this virus, we just have to be more vigilant, right? And obedient. Okay? It would be better to monitor the cases in the next 2 weeks. Itong sinabi ni Solante. Totoo naman. Remember, cases and transmission are still high. And we need to be vigilant about these numbers. Sabi to ni Solante. Reminding the public that despite the easing of restrictions in some areas, the pandemic is still here and they should still avoid non-essential gatherings and observe health protocols. Yun sinasabi ko, kakasabi ko pa lang, di ba? Ang mga Pinoy lalo na, party animals, di ba? Or gatherings, animals, any cause for celebration, okay ang Pinoy, right? Metro Manila and several other areas in the country were downgraded to alert level 2 in the first half of the month after a surge in cases in January attributed to the Omicron variant slowed down. Some 100,000 to 200,000 jobs were estimated to have returned following the easing of the alert level, okay? According to Trade Undersecretary Ruth Castello. Under alert level 2 kasi po, most of the establishments po ay pwede nang mag-operate at a 50% indoor capacity, okay? Sa alert level 2 ha. At sa labas po, sa outdoors, 70% outdoors. Hindi pa po tayo 100% sa alert level 2, okay? Costello added that for the Department of Trade and Industry or ang DTI, the alert level system should be removed gradually, okay? To give people time to prepare and have the proper mindset that they should continue to observe health protocols even if mag-relax na ng restrictions, okay? Para sa DTI, it should be gradual, diba? Gradual daw dapat ang pagre-revert sa mga alert levels until we get used to it and accept that our new normal involves health protocols. Yun ang kagaya ng Japan. They're living with the virus, diba? Pero kasi, nag-observe pa rin sila ng health protocols. Kaya, tsaka, hindi sila nagkakasakit. Kasi, yung mask na yan talaga, hindi nila inaalis sa mukha nila unless, of course, kakain ka at susubo. Okay? Tapos, another reality is the unvaccinated people have the higher risk of getting the virus and, of course, getting really sick with the virus, okay? The DOH or Department of Health data yesterday showed that of the 7,620 severe and critical cases and 6,254 COVID-19 deaths reported from November 5 to February this year, unvaccinated and partially vaccinated individuals accounted for, tingnan nyo ha, 71.8% po ng severe cases and 77.4 po ng percentage ang death rate. So, bakit mataas? Anong explanation? Yun na nga, high risk po ang hindi pa nagpapabakuna. Alam naman natin na meron pa rin dyan mga anti-vaxxers sa Amerika, everywhere, anywhere. Lalo na din sa Pilipinas. I actually know of some people who have not been vaccinated because they refuse it. Hindi ko na lang ipapangalanan because some of them are my friends and some of them are in the industry, the entertainment industry. Maraming po tayong kaibigan dyan na ayaw magpabakuna and they don't believe in the bakuna. Okay. Moreover, among these admissions, severe and critical symptoms are 1.63 times more likely to occur, okay, among non-fully vaccinated individuals. Totoo naman because I had COVID, my family had COVID last year, and thank God for those vaccinations. If not for that, siguro na naka-worse symptoms na ako. Ako kasi yung pinaka-tinamaan ng badly because not only did I lose my sense of taste, but yung katawan ko po napakasakit, parang binugbog ka ng 10 na maton, yung ganun yung, I thought it was trangkaso, pero sabi ko, hindi trangkaso to, parang mula neck down, ang sakit-sakit yung katawan ko. Every inch I move is parang may rayuma yung buong katawan. Ganun yung feeling po, no? As opposed to my fiance and my child who only had minor symptoms, if not none. Okay? Sipon lang yata ng konti. Yun, dinagnat ng ilang araw. Okay? So, like I was saying, sabi nitong si Solante, moreover, among these admissions, severe and critical symptoms are 1.63 times more likely to occur among non-fully vaccinated individuals compared to fully vaccinated individuals, while death from COVID-19 is 2.8 times more likely in non-fully vaccinated individuals. Okay? Kasi yun nga, di ba, yung sinabi natin earlier, yung mga laman ng ospital, di ba, 77.4% of those deaths were of non-vaccinated individuals. Di ba? Consistent with scientific evidence, COVID-19 vaccines continue to protect against severe illness and death. Vaccination remains the country's long-term solution against the consequences brought about by the pandemic. Okay? So please, magpabakuna na kayo, right? The country's positivity rate was 19.5%, lower than the 21.5% on Sunday. This was based on 36,773 people tested on Saturday. The positivity rate is the percentage of tests conducted that came out positive for COVID-19. The World Health Organization's benchmark positivity rate of below 5% sustained for 2 weeks. indicates that the virus transmission is under control. Ayan, magandang balita. The national caseload, according to the DOH data, was now 3,616,387. Recoveries stood at 3,445,129, ang taas ng ratio, and the death toll at 54,538. The DOH also reported 4 more deaths due to the highly transmissible Omicron variant of COVID-19. Ayan, meron ng mga naglamatay sa Omicron, pero kaunti lang. The deaths raised to 9, the number of people who have died from Omicron in our country. 9 people have died since the onslaught of Omicron. The DOH said the samples of the new fatalities were detected among the 1,680 specimens that underwent the latest whole genome sequencing by the University of the Philippines Philippine Genome Center sa Diliman po, sa UP. Tsaka UP Visayas and the Research Institute for Tropical Medicine. Out of those sequenced, 1,569 were found to be of the Omicron variant, of which 1,458 local cases, 76 were from returning overseas Filipinos, and 35 others still being verified. Based on the case line, 72 cases were still active, 4 have died, and 1,403 have been tagged as recovered. Okay? There are now unknown 2,722 confirmed Omicron variant cases in the country. Ayan! Nakita ko rin si Jake. Oh, hello Jake. Hello. So ayan, pwede ko ba kayong imbitahan, okay, sa Friday? Sa Friday, Angelica, Cynthia, Jake. No, these 3 people are always supportive. Have been here for a year, supporting our show. Gusto ko pong sanang sa November, sa Friday ay makasama sila sa ating programa. If you could please message, ilagay niyo po diyan sa message yung messenger niyo. Kasi doon po kayo pwedeng tawagan sa messenger para malagay ko kayo sa show eh. Jake Elizar, Cynthia Buste, and Jerome Fajardo. We can actually, pwede. At saka si Shrey Sharma. Kasi palagi rin siyang supportive dito sa ating show. Sa Friday, or, if I can get your messenger, so I can call you guys and put you on camera to discuss life in this pandemic, no? Ayan po ang topic na yon. So, paki-message, kung ayaw nyo dito i-post dito sa page natin, no? Or sa live stream ng Facebook, i-messenger nyo po sa akin. Messenger me, J. Bautista, to tell me, send me a message and give me your messenger names or how I can how I will be able to talk to you or call you on Messenger para sa ating panel discussion on living in this pandemic. I want to feature my regular viewers. Mm-hmm. Yes, please. Okay? So, nakakatawa, di ba, our president, sabi ng presidente, he warned those unvaccinated people, okay? If you die daw, good riddance. Kasi naman talaga, yung mga anti-vaxxers at ayaw magpabakuna, mahala talaga sila if they die, which in America, those anti-vaxxers, 2 of them that were lobbying against wearing masks and the vaccination, namatay po sila from COVID. How ironic, right? Oh well. Anyway, so from the COVID-19 issue, we go to the education, okay? In this pandemic, all right? Classes in public schools resume after mid-year health break, okay? This is news from yesterday, ang DepEd po, no? Classes in public schools resumed yesterday, Monday, February 7, after the mid-year break, according to the Department of Education, or the DepEd, okay? Based on the school year 2021-2022 calendar, the mid-year break for students in public schools nationwide was scheduled from February 2 to 5. The resumption of classes after the mid-break will also mark the start of academic quarter 3 beginning February 7, which is yesterday. Before the mid-year break, sinabi ng DepEd, inallow nila ang suspension ng classes and teaching-related activities because of the surge of the Omicron. Amidst the coronavirus disease surge following the calls from various teachers groups to implement academic and health breaks. So nanghingi rin ng break yung mga teacher at mga eskwelahan, right? Undersecretary Curriculum and Instruction Strand Diosdado San Antonio, in a memorandum issued noong January 12, instructed local DepEd officials to exercise discretion in suspending classes and other teaching-related activities, okay? This move is in consideration of teachers' and learners' health and well-being as the country experiences an alarming surge of these cases. Pero 'di ba? Sabi nila, ang ibang mga eskwela po, nadagdagan po yung nagpa-pilot test ng face-to-face. So, antayin po natin kung anong result nun. Kasi wala tayong update regarding sa results ng face-to-face pilot, online, face-to-face school, pilot schools, no? Na nagbukas. Wala po tayong update dyan. 250 schools po yun. Let's just, as soon as we get the updates, we will talk about it with you. Okay? Alright. Moving right along. Okay. Nasaan na ba yung mga bakuna ko? What happened? Wait a minute. I'm just gonna check out something. Aha. Ayan na pala. Ito na yung kanina. Task Force easing restrictions soon. That's right. Kasi nga, nababakunahan na yung mga bata. Kaya na, nagbakuna sila sa mall, naka-cosplay yung mga parang candy stripers tawag na sa Amerika or yung mga tumutulong sa doctors and nurses, see? Para wag ma-nervous yung mga teenagers na bata na ini-injectionan, nagbihis sila ng cosplay. Ayan, nag-cosplay yung mga tumutulong. No? See? Cosplayers as a superhero costume assist children sa San Juan po yan ng kahapon, assuring them that everything will be okay. What a nice naman. San Juan talaga, ang ganda ng pamalakad, no? Well, bagong mayor. Okay, so there. Now, let's talk about, alright, politics, okay? Let's talk about politics, alright? Ayan. Ito yung mga kabataan niya, no? See, the youth organizations call on candidates to bring climate environment to the table. Oo nga naman daw. Gawin naman daw concern. Yung tungkol sa ating Mother Earth. Okay? Okay. In the news report today from Philstar Global, from General Santos City, Philippines, young activists are calling on candidates, okay, General Santos, ayan ang Baluarte ni Pacquiao sa Jensen. Anyway, young activists are calling on candidates in the May polls to put forward, bigyan daw ng importansya or priority ang climate platforms that put people and the planet at the center as climate change-related risks have been increasingly felt in recent years. Talaga naman, pollution is on the upswing, climate change, diba? Global warming, okay? The next leaders of the country need to recognize the urgency of the climate crisis for our country. Ito ang sabi ni John Bonifacio, National Coordinator of Youth Advocates for Climate Action Philippines. He stressed that the need to start talking about how the Philippines can adapt to climate change, especially after the devastation caused by Typhoon Odette, or Typhoon Rai sa international world, the strongest tropical cyclone that hit the country last year. I mean, my God, hindi natin naramdaman dito sa Metro Manila or sa karating na mga pook. Pero ito really devastated the Visayas. I know for a fact, my own yaya, my yaya Sining of 42 years, hanggang ngayon, she's now in Manila because I'm seeing her soon. But pag alis niya po sa Samar Leyte po siya last 3 days ago, wala pa rin po silang ilaw doon. Mula ng cause ng Odette. Isipin niya po, more than ilang months na yan, wala pang ilaw. Okay? The Archipelago Philippines is one of the countries most at risk from the climate crisis. Youth organization called on candidates to please ensure scientifically appropriate protection and restoration of the mangroves, seagrass beds, coral reefs, and watershed ecosystems. There must also be an increase in public investment. Yun na nga, awareness please. Mag-campaign pa tayo all the more regarding sustainable energy, tsaka green technology, diba? To help save the environment and the planet. There must also be increase in public investment into local research and technology, investments in infrastructure, resilient to climate impacts, and policies that aim to better prevent, prepare for, and respond to climate change impacts. In-stress din po nila na relocation is not the only solution for people living in the risk zones. Okay? Ano yan? Mag-iingay na naman yung pusa namin gustong pumasok ng bahay. Nasa labas kasi. Anyway, young climate activists also urge poll aspirants to implement a stricter moratorium on coal. Okay? Sa coal po, uling. Coal. Uling ba yung sa Tagalog? Coal. Make the country's climate commitments or the national determined contributions more ambitious. Okay? Develop a clear transition pathway toward renewable energy and impose a nationwide ban on single-use plastics. O yan talaga. Totally ban na yung mga plastic na toxic na yan, right? Nakakatawa nga, di ba? Ito lagi ko naaalala itong anecdote na to eh. Kasi bawal ang plastic sa SM po, sorry sasabihin sa SM, hindi lang naman kasi sa SM, sa iba siguro pang mga tindahan, bawal ang plastic, you should bring your eco bags or whatever, or they sell eco bags. But, kung wala kang eco bag na dala or wala kang kahon, pwede kang bumili ng plastic bag para lagyan ng mga binili mo sa grocery din. Sus, diba? It defeats the purpose of saying na ang campaign na no plastic. Actually, ginawa pang negosyo. Pwede kang gumamit ng plastic kung babayaran mo. Diba? That's so, what the heck is that? I think that's so ironic ba yun? O ano bang tawag doon? Parang masyadong contradicting, di ba? Yun, contradictory. Hindi ironic, contradictory. Nagka-campaign ka ng no use ng plastic, pero meron pa rin. Dapat yun totally, kagaya sa ibang bansa, walang plastic sa kanilang mga aisles, sa mga grocery. Wala. Tapunin mo na yan. Pati sa SM. Otherwise, nagwawala yung aming pusa. Gustong pumasok ng bahay. Alam niya kasi pag lunchtime na eh. Diba? Alam niya, gusto niya pumasok kasi alam niya mag-lunch na kami. But anyway, so the youth are coming together, okay? They also need to accelerate the inclusion of climate change education. Yan na nga, awareness po sa public, tsaka sa education. Candidates must champion climate justice and defend environment defenders. So sa mga kandidato po, gawin yung plataforma niya yan, yung green technology, yung sustainable energy, yung how to save the environment. The Philippines has been consistently identified as the worst place in Asia, biruin niyo for protectors of nature, according to Watchdog Global Witness. That is so sad. And we have so much beautiful nature around us and so much resources that we can save and use. Pero tayong identified as the worst place in Asia for protectors of nature. How sad. Yun na nga hindi naman kasi pinoprotect, di ba? Tinatayuan nga ng, wala dito, hindi gaya sa ibang countries talaga na pine-preserve. Dito sa atin, anong nangyari sa Boracay, right? It's too commercialized. Nature's like marred with all those, commercialization, right? Yung mga virgin beaches, yan ang magaganda. They also need to accelerate the inclusion of climate change education in elementary and high school curricula. Maintain a transparent process in all efforts. Dapat nga gawing subject matter na yung green yung ecosystems. Okay? Dapat may subject na gano'n. Maintain a transparent process in all efforts toward addressing the climate change and ensure stricter implementation of climate and environmental policies. Okay? The youth are coming together to call for a green and just leadership in the face of this ongoing climate and environment crisis. Okay? Our present and future naman kasi are at stake. We have no time to lose, di ba? Dapat lang. Okay? So on that note, I leave you with that thought regarding saving the planet. Okay? Okay. So, napag-usapan na natin yung pandemic issue sa Pilipinas, sa classes din, okay? Tsaka yung tungkol sa mga kabataan. Okay? Now we go naman to international, right? Okay? Oh no, my computer just, okay. Well, importante to eh. Balik tayo muna sandali sa COVID pero kasi international to. Okay, sinabi nila, Alzheimer-like changes were found in COVID patients' brains. Oh my goodness, I had COVID already. Wag naman po Alzheimer. Yan, no? Alzheimer-like changes are found in, good pa to or bad? In COVID patients, brains, flu shot, mRNA booster safe together. The following, okay, this is a summary of recent studies regarding COVID-19, okay? Sabi nila, this is a findings ito ng Columbia University Dr. Andrew Marks, okay? People who die of severe COVID-19 have brain abnormalities that resemble changes seen in Alzheimer's disease, okay? Ayun ako, itong COVID-19 is really something that is so close to my heart because I, for one thing, okay, I'm a COVID survivor. Pati yan si Miss Angelica Paz din. Para kami, nag-share kami niyan. Colleague kami, COVID survivor colleagues. Pero, deeper than that po, in the earlier onslaught of the COVID, I have lost a total of 6 friends to COVID. Kasama na po dyan yung very first physician na namatay po dito sa Pilipinas, si Dr. Sally Rodriguez Gatchalian po. The ate yan po ng best friend ko na si Cynthia Rodriguez, na kapatid din na Ruby Rodriguez. She died po and she's a pediatrician. She was the head of the Pediatric Society of the Philippines. She was one of the first to pass away from COVID. Sila po dalawang asawa niya rin po na surgeon, doctor, ay nagka-COVID. Nag-survive po ang kanyang mister. Unfortunately, she didn't. But anyway, so going back to that, itong studies na ito, naalala ko tuloy lang. They said that people who die of severe COVID-19 have brain abnormalities that resemble changes in Alzheimer's. Accumulation of a protein called tau inside brain cells, an abnormal amount of the protein beta amyloid that accumulates into amyloid plaques. Okay? Sabi sa Columbia University ni Dr. Andrew Marks and colleagues, they studied the brains of 10 COVID-19 patients and found defects in proteins called ryanodine receptors that control the passage of calcium into cells. In Alzheimer's disease kasi, defective ryanodine receptors are linked to accumulation of tau into so-called neurofibrillary tangles. These tangles were present in high levels of COVID-19 patients, okay? Other research teams have looked for and found abnormal amyloid levels in brains of COVID-19 patients. In all of the studies, patients had experienced the most severe forms of COVID-19. If similar changes are occurring sa brains ng mga pasyente with milder illness, that might help explain yung brain fog associated with long COVID. Naapektuhan daw ang brain pagka severe yung COVID mo, okay? Patients with severe COVID-19 might be at higher risk for dementia later in life. Oh my gosh, wag naman po ako. But it is too soon to know. His advice, get a booster vaccine and avoid the virus. I already have. I'm thrice vaccinated, booster and all. May flu shot pa. Lahat na po ginawa ko, okay? If you get COVID-19, you probably won't die, but we still don't know a lot about the long-term effects, okay? So yun lang po ang sinabi yan, na pag nagka-COVID, may chances na, yung dementia at Alzheimer's. Well, alright, so, okay, tama na to tungkol doon, alright? In Europe naman po, okay? Wait, let me just fix my graphics. Tapos na to. Okay, this is done. This is done. In Europe, okay. Let's talk about social media naman. Tara. Diba? Dahil kasi kung hindi COVID, so ang relationship natin with technology, yan, social media is prevalent. Okay? Ayan. Okay. All right. So, in Europe, tech giants boost cooperation in fighting online hate. Okay? Sa France po, European Justice Ministers and tech giants Google and Metaverse po is of course Facebook, agreed last Friday that a clear legal framework was needed to step up cooperation against online hate. Di ba? Kasi ito pong issue ngayon sa social media, di ba? Dahil sa pagiging under fire ng Facebook, also known as, ng Metaverse, aka Facebook, dahil sa whistleblower niya, natignan po closely na where under the ano po sila, under the spectrum or under the lens po and speculation and scrutiny po ang Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, pati na rin TikTok, diba, dapat sali dyan, and other social media platforms po ay being looked at because po dun sa mga nangyayaring fake news, anti-vaccine posts sa Amerika, galit na galit dyan yung presidente. Alright? So now, Google and Meta agreed last Friday that a clear and legal framework was needed to set up cooperation against online hate. Okay? Itong sinabi ni France's Justice Minister. Social media and online platforms face a raft of legislative proposals on both sides of the Atlantic dahil they will require them to do more to counter online hate speech tsaka yung disinformation. Yun na nga yun. Yung mga negative posts, mga hate speeches, tsaka mga fake news po. In the EU, the Digital Service Act would force tech giants to do more to tackle illegal content on their platform. Yun na nga, mas thorough na pag-filter ng mga post. Yan ang importante. Huwag lang profit ang inisip. Diba? Yan ang sinabi ng whistleblower kasi sa Facebook na ang Facebook daw, dinivulge niya, wala silang concern masyado doon sa kanilang subscribers or members because pera-pera lang. Importante is kung sino yung magbabayad ng ads dyan sa Facebook, ipopost na lang kahit na masama yung information. Of course, dininay naman to ng Facebook and they're saying, of course, now that the change of the name of Facebook happened during this investigative process. Diba? Iniba na yung pangalan. Anyway, it is high time that we adopt an EU legislation so that platforms don't have the last word. Okay? Kasi sabi nila, yung Digital Services Act po na minamandate nila would force tech giants to do more to tackle illegal content on their platforms with fines, okay? May mga fine to, may mga legal repercussions with a fine of 6% of the global turnover for non-compliance. See? 6% po ng milyon-milyon yung kinikitang limpak-limpak sa mga Facebook ads and such. It is high time that we adopt an EU legislation so that platforms don't have the last word, said Eric Dupont-Moretti, who was hosting the meeting in the northern France city of Lille. Lille ba ito? Lille o Lille? We need a clear, precise framework that respects freedom of speech. Sinabi naman ng Google Chief Legal Counsel si Kent Walker, who took part in the meeting, he told Reuters in an emailed comment that the company welcomed the EU's plans to facilitate the sharing of digital evidence. Ano ibig sabihin? We believe that the e-evidence regulation sets a positive international precedent for supporting the needs of law enforcement while ensuring privacy and due process for users, said Walker, who is president of the Global Affairs and Chief Legal Office at Google. Okay? Importante mga tao to. Twitter, however, did not send a representative. Okay? Ayun pa pala, isang platform dyan, Twitter. Kailangan din yung mga post dyan po ay hindi malicious at hindi po misinformation ang binibigay. There will be a chair. It will be empty and there will be in front of this chair the Twitter tag to show they are not there and to regret it, he said. Twitter said the company was staying away because of its own COVID rules, but that it was fully committed to cooperating with authorities to make the internet safer. Okay? Twitter last month lost a hate speech court battle in France, with judges saying it must disclose details on what it does to tackle online hatred in the country. Okay? So ayan po ang latest, no, tungkol sa pag curtail or control nito, the way that the people are posting on their platforms, Twitter, Facebook, all the social media platforms for that matter. Okay? And at this point, we'd like to greet again, today po kasi, happy birthday to Apong Bidang, of the Lakap family. Happy birthday in heaven, Apong Bidang, tsaka anniversary ng baptism ni John Hendricks Lakap. And birthday greetings, well, sino pa mga may birthday today? Hindi ko natingnan yung aking birthday list but happy birthday to those celebrating their birthdays today, okay? Okay, one more bit of news and information regarding technology use, okay? Ang gadgets to feature. Oh, okay. Ito, sige. Let me just change my graphic again for the last time today. Okay. Tapos na itong si Tech Giant. Ayan. Ito, ang latest technology breakthrough naman. Ayan. Nerve stimulation device helps paralyzed patients walk, cycle, and swim. Ayan na yata ang kailangan ko, di ba? Pagka inopera yung aking tuhod. I'm scheduled for something procedure done somewhere. Pero hopefully pwede ako online. Anyway, so what was I saying? All right. Nerve stimulation device helps paralyzed patients walk, cycle, and swim. Imagine nakakalakad ang paralyzed patients. Wow. Saka mag-swim. Ooh. This is a news coming from New York po, sa Amerika po, no? Sa Reuters. 3 patients whose lower bodies were left completely paralyzed after spinal cord injuries were able to, imagine, walk, cycle, and swim. Oh my goodness. Using a nerve stimulation device controlled by a touchscreen tablet. Ano to? So impulses sa brain. Oh my God. Wouldn't that be so cool if kung meron injection sa utak mo tapos pwede mo utusan yung paa mo maglakad ka ulit. Siguro hindi na ako kailangan magpa-opera ng tuhod. So ganun, no? Kung meron talagang such a thing. But let's see what this is really about. Okay? The patient's injuries to a region called thoracic spine, below the neck and above the lowest part of the back, were sustained 1 to 9 years before receiving the treatment. They were able to take their first steps within an hour after neurosurgeons first implanted prototypes of a nerve. Sabi ko na nga ba, implants ba? Paglalagyan ng microchip yung utak, pwede na no? Of a nerve stimulation device remotely controlled by AI. Oh my God, see? Oh my, robot ka na yan. Nilagyan ng implant yung utak mo, tapos remote control. Ginawang Barbie doll na mechanical. Ano ba yan? Over the next 6 months, excuse me, the patients, imagine regained the ability to engage in more advanced activities like walking, cycling, oh my God, and swimming in the community settings outside of the clinic by controlling the nerve stimulation devices themselves using a touchscreen tablet. Nakakakilabot naman yan. Yung pilay ng 9 years, baby, lalagyan ng microchip sa utak. Kino-control, nakalakad na ulit, nakaswimming pa. Oh my gosh. Nakapag-bike, ano ba yan? The patients were men ages 29, 32, and 41. Were all injured in a motorbike accident. Ayan, siya sa motorcycle, baby. Yung mga injury na yan. Gregory Courtine and Jocelyn Block of the Swiss Federal Institute of Technology in Lausanne, excuse me, led the study and published it in the Journal of Nature Medicine. They helped establish a Netherlands-based technology company called Onward Medical that is working on to commercialize the system. Ay, nakakilabot. Talagyan ng chip sa utak, pero kita mo naman nakalakad. So, isabihin, kahit na pilay-pilay yun, nakalakad, hindi na nag-surgery. O baka ginawa mo na yung mga buto-buto, tapos nag-impulse. Anyway, the company expects to launch a trial in about a year, oh my gosh, involving 70 to 100 patients, primarily in the United States. There is no existing treatment to enable the spinal cord to heal. Wala pa pong na-inventong ganyan para gumaling yung spinal cord. But researchers have pursued ways to help paralyzed people regain mobility through technology. Talaga naman. In these studies, early results are confirmed. In larger studies, people immobilized by spinal cord injuries may someday be able to open a smartphone or talk to a smartwatch, select an activity such as walk and sit. So, pwede mo nang i-remote control yung mga gumalaw ang paa mo, lumakad ka, then send a message to sa implanted device that will stimulate their nerves and muscles to make the appropriate movements happen. Okay? All right? Normally, to initiate a movement, the brain sends a message to the spinal cord, telling it to stimulate the pool of nerve cells that in turn activate the muscles. So, ayun po ang ibig sabihin nun. Papadala ng impulses sa brain. My God, di ba? The wonders of technology. And on this note po, I'd like to end today's broadcast, no? Marami po tayong napag-asapan, no? Na nagamit ng teknolohiya sa medicine, sa education, ito po sa technology, right? And again, I'm extending my invitation po to Miss Angelica Paz, Cynthia Buste, Shay Sharma, at si Jake Elizar to join me po on Friday as I prepare an all walks of life panel in my show to discuss the pandemic situation and how technology has impacted and helped our lives in this pandemic period. Okay? So on that note po, I'd like to say thank you so much for those people who are watching today at sa mga sumama sa atin sa pagkakataon na ito. And yes, pasensya na po kahapon, absent ako, but now we're back. So we're going to be talking about more things tomorrow. And of course, we are on Facebook, we are on YouTube. Matapos po itong broadcast na to, migrate, malilipat sa YouTube po yung mga past episodes. For those who want to balik-balikan yung mga iba naming programa, please, Broad Stream Cast Communicators has a YouTube page where our shows are all there po. Okay? And of course, those na hindi pa nakakapag-like and subscribe sa aming YouTube, please do so. Okay? And like I said, I need your messenger names po so that I can add you on my messenger so I can make the call on Friday kay Miss Angelica Paz, Cynthia Buste, kay Shrey at saka kay Jake, no? Para matawagan ko po kayo makapag tayo or sa Google Meet maybe, right? Yeah, I need your Gmail accounts ba? Basta kung ano pa yung kailangan, Shrey, help. But anyway, thank you so much for joining me today. This has been Jay Bautista for Buhay Online, bringing you the latest things and telling you about how the latest technology and how technology can work for your lives, or for you and not against you. Diba? Kasi may pros and cons din po ang technology as napag-usapan na natin before. So tomorrow po, Wednesday, no, we will see Shrey Sharma with me, and we will continue to talk about jobs in this pandemic that we can do and how the industry is spending in this pandemic and kung ano pa yung opportunities na makikita natin. Tomorrow po yan papag-usapan. So thank you so much for joining me today. Happy Tuesday to all. And at the end of the day, 3 things should remain po. Faith, hope, and love. Maraming salamat po at magkita-kita po tayo bukas. Thank you!
Inyong natunghayan at napakinggan ang mga makabagong pamamaraan sa mundo ng online sa pamamagitan pa rin ng Broad Stream Cast Communicators. Hanggang sa muli, maraming salamat po.